What's up, hockey fans? Welcome to another edition of Just Winging It, your favorite quarantine coffee talk that hopefully will continue once this quarantine officially ends. We're getting to maybe the home stretch, but hopefully been entertained so far with some of the guests we've had on, including coaches, front office staff, the leadership group of the K-Wings, players. We're going to try to incorporate some more variety into it. One thing I thought was very important to showcase was the brains behind kind of our creative operation here in Kalamazoo. And it's not me. I'm just the one that stands in front of the camera a lot of the time. So I assure you, the brains behind the operation are the two gentlemen sitting alongside me via chat, Zoom chat today, and that is Michael McFadden and Tim Hindbaugh of the Kalamazoo Wings front office. So first of all, gents, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming on. You're on every show. You're just not on camera. So how does it feel to be on camera for once?
Well, this is different for me. I like to stay behind the camera and let your pretty face do all the work. But I don't know.
McFadden, you've been itching to get on camera for a while now, and I feel like we just keep sliding you. So this is long overdue.
Yeah, getting bumped out of a few of those videos we did throughout the season hurt a little bit, but I am kind of like Tim, though. I do like staying in the background and just kind of having fun behind the scenes. So this is fun, though. It's going to be a good time.
So for the fans that aren't aware of our kind of how our creative department works in a nutshell, when we come up with our videos that we post, such as the top 10 videos and the Wings Holiday Wishes video, and you name it, anything video related, we talk about. Tim does the brunt of the work, and we'll get into that in a second. But anything jersey related, specialty jersey, any promotional items, giveaway items, McFadden handles. And so I'm going to let you guys talk about that type of thing. But these are things that as a team with the K-Wings, we have a group that meets every single week to go over our agendas, what we're working on together, what we're working on individually. And that's how the magic happens. So hopefully we've got some cool things planned for you guys coming up here this summer and heading into the 2020-21 season. But I really felt that we needed to dive into the behind-the-scenes people like yourselves that are very important in this operation. So let's start with you, Tim. You've been here a little longer than both myself and McFadden, the creative producer of the Kalamazoo Wings. In layman's terms, what do you do?
Well, what don't I do, JP? No. Basically, any videos you see on the scoreboard, on social media, that all comes through me with your guys' creative input also. Highlight videos, music in the arena, player headshots, any of that. It goes through me, and I have a crew of like 12 during game days, and they're some of the best in the league for sure. Our camera people, but yeah, there's a lot I do. And besides the K-Wing stuff, I produce concerts at Wings Event Center, and also the AV manager, I guess. I keep everything up and running, and that's a full-time job in itself with our 46-year-old building. So
for people that aren't aware of how complicated some of the things you do really are, if you go up the ladder to an NHL team, they have anywhere between 20 to 50 people working on that crew. And here in Kalamazoo, which I think we have more people on our crew than teams I've seen in my previous stops.
Sure.
I mean, it's a bigger group than just us three. I mean, like you said, you had 12 on game nights, usually 12 people helping you out.
Yeah.
Everything fans see on the video board, you've touched in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Game ready. So it helps having so many talented people around you, I'm sure, because you're kind of managing, but also trusting that they can do their job really well, which they do.
Right. Yeah. And I have a hard time taking my hands off stuff and letting people, because my name is stamped on all of it. So I want to make sure everything's how I like it. But yeah, like I said, I have a great crew, but they're mostly there game day. So during the week, it's just us three, and of course Tony coming up with these ideas and fun stuff we like to do.
Marketing team.
Oh yeah.
they've got some cool ideas that we've taken and run with too. And
Absolutely.
They do a lot of the dirty work when it comes to the strategy behind, how we promote games and how we get ready for the season to start and how we get the community. And
our marketing team is outstanding. They're part of our GHG, so we own the Radisson, and so they do all the marketing for all of our, Burdick's and Blush and Rio. They're in the Radisson and Wings West, and they are outstanding to work with. And like you said, they bring us great ideas, and all the graphics you see mostly come from them, and good things on the horizon for them.
Michael McFadden, you've been here just a hair longer than I have. So you got your feet wet in Kalamazoo, 6 months before I got here last summer, or maybe less than that. The creative producer is Tim. The game operations director, I want to make sure I have your title correct. Game operations and community relations director. Is that right? You muted yourself. We already hit our first glitch.
Yeah. Classic McFadden, right?
We're going to keep this. We can't edit this out.
No.
How about now?
You're good
there you
now.
Go.
So now that you have a voice, because I do too much talking where people are sick of me, I'll mute myself. Tell us what you do.
So when I was muted, I was saying I'm manager, not a director. But I work, very closely with Tim. We put together basically what you see when the guys aren't playing is the way I try to explain it to people when they ask me what it is that I do. I tell them my job is fan engagement. I'm there to make sure everyone has fun. So I'm in charge of the intermissions, the timeouts, as you mentioned, with the jersey auctions. And I, same as Tim, I have a crew of usually it's about 6 a night that are interns. And truthfully, I let them do the execution of everything, because that's where, they're going to get the experience and the know-how to be able to take, their next steps once they graduate from college. And some have graduated and are still just getting some experience. So, I really try to let them kind of run the show as much as possible to give them that opportunity. But and then, on the community relations side, it's, everything's Slappy and players. So, whenever you see us out in the community, again, try to let the group of interns take leads on that a lot of the times, just to get them used to that. One of the first things I tell them when they join is I'll never ask them to do something that I already haven't done before. And, half the time I'm down there with them doing the same things. So, the old saying that, no one's too big for any job. And I really try to kind of make them realize and understand that. So yeah, a little bit of everything.
We had a tremendous group of interns this past year too. We had 6, if I'm not mistaken, and every single one of them brought something to the table. And I was so impressed by the group as a whole. And I didn't even work with them on a day-to-day basis like you did. I mean, I saw them around the office every day and obviously on game nights. And they were a fun group and a talented young group. And I think they all have bright futures. But how much easier did that make your job, having a group that you can trust right away with little experience coming in, but as the season kind of got going?
Oh, yeah. It makes the job so much easier. We take usually about the first, 4 or 5 games to really get their feet wet. We do a couple walkthroughs, obviously, before the season starts, but those first few games is where they really get their feet wet, might have a few errors here and there, but usually by, that 5th game, they're ready to run with it. And it does it. It makes my job a lot easier. And we debrief after every game where, things could always be improved. And we also use that time to recognize each other. As you mentioned, the 6 of them just, they really did. They hit a home run this year. And I told them at the end of the year that they have caused me a headache because, every group after them has got some really big shoes to fill. So hopefully we can continue to get that top quality. And I know at least one, if not two, may try to return this coming season. So, it's always great to have some that come back because they can help the new group get started.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll welcome them back with open arms. Tim, before coming to the K-Wings, you had a background in TV as well. You've pretty much done it all, but you've worked with talent. You like to be behind the scenes, right? So you work with the people that are on the scenes and making them look good. Joe Roberts said it, I think, on our fourth episode of this show, fourth or fifth episode, that behind every on-air person, there's somebody equally, if not more talented behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
At best. First of all, you had to put up with Joe for 3 years. And
yeah,
then,
so I came – yeah.
And then Isaac and then me. How do you do it?
Well, man, when I first got here, Joe – he would just rip me because I came from TV. I worked at WWMT for 15 years and directing the morning news and no creativity with that. It's like, take camera one, take camera two. So he was very concerned and was like, how are you going to make anything look good? What do you, how are you going to do it? You just cut from one headshot to another headshot. But I proved him wrong. And because of my skills, he is in the AHL right now. So, and I take all credit for Joe being moved up. So, and JP, you're on your way. So stick with me, kid.
Yeah, I mean, I just got to stay by your side, I guess. When are you going to get that call up? I think it's long overdue.
Oh, I've got roots here in Kalamazoo. I'm a local boy, so I don't know. I'm comfortable right here, right now. So,
McFadden, you came from Greenville, and I think it was before you got there. They switched from the Greenville Road Warriors to the Swamp Rabbits, which was like the talk of pro sports for an entire summer. Like, this is the coolest minor league name ever. Sweet logo. You were right there front and center before coming to Kalamazoo. What's the biggest change when you moved across the country?
I would say biggest change was we didn't have a Tim per se. We actually outsourced that. And so what he does, or at least half of it, is what I used to do in Greenville. So I actually used to call the show in Greenville and didn't have interns. So actually had to rely on our promo team and, usually one, if not two staff members to kind of execute a lot of the stuff. But outside of that, it's, pretty much the same. Here we use ShowFlow for our timing script, which is, something that I build and work with Tim on with, what videos and what we're going to be, again, with, what we'll do with timeouts. And
I think people are surprised that the show is actually scripted. Like from when doors open, we have a timeline of everything that's going to happen on the board, the music in the arena, in the concourse. And so, yeah, me and McFadden, we write that script for every game. Lots of it is redundant, but we try to mix things up, different elements up, so it's not the same game you see every.
And on top of that, McFadden, you write up the script for our public address announcer, Joe B., so he knows exactly the reads and the sponsors and the promotional items and the intermission games, which Rick does a lot of too, whoever's doing the in-game hosting. But everything's scripted. And then you guys, as a staff, actually, we all meet at 5 o'clock on a game night, 2 hours before game time, an hour before the doors open, and discuss everything that goes on over the course of the game. And Tim, that's a great point. I don't know that a lot of fans maybe realize that so much of it is scripted. The only thing that's not scripted is the game itself.
Right. And who can script that, right?
Right? This whole change of how we're working this summer, obviously, with everything going on. Now we're 3 months into it. It's kind of become routine for me. I'm used to it by now. And quite honestly, with what we do, us three specifically, we can kind of do almost everything that we could do in the office at home anyway. Mm-hmm. What was the biggest adjustment? Tim, we'll start with you, I guess, on kind of the working from home deal.
Well, for me is the first few weeks, I was just trying to do everything on my laptop. And because at Wings Event Center, I have a big, giant tower Apple computer. And so I had to haul that here. So now I have this big editing room set up in my house. So that was a kind of a pain. And the other thing is I got to know Slappy quite well. He's been at my house a lot. He's been jumping in lava, gardening here.
Did he just show up on? Did he show up uninvited?
Yeah, he's kind of quarantined with me. But
wow,
yeah, it's interesting. But I think he's going to be moving out soon. I think this week actually, because I've had enough of the guy.
Yeah, well, I don't know where he's going to go, but he's a bird, so he could probably survive out in the wild too. McFadden, I see your bachelor pad behind you, decked out in your favorite sports teams stuff. Manchester United and Florida State are pretty much the only two teams I ever see you rocking around the office. So, so how are you surviving this time without sports?
Surprisingly pretty well without sports. The biggest thing for me was I stay on the go quite a bit. I play a lot of soccer during the week, obviously when we don't have games. So in the evenings, I'm playing a lot of soccer. So to really take myself personally and quarantine into a one-bedroom apartment was really tough for me. When this first started, I actually brought both of my monitors home with my laptop, and I didn't even really have space for two monitors. So I actually ended up taking one back to the office, and it's actually been okay. I've been able to function with the two monitors all right. But really, one of the biggest things that was really hard for me was, again, just the activity level. Usually during the day, around lunch is when I'll work out, and it helps just break up my day. And when all of this started, I didn't really have a good routine, and it was, in an apartment, you can't really be jumping around and working out like the way you'd like to. And, I don't have any free weights or anything like that. So did some equipment investment, and, much happier now.
We're already starting to think about next season, and obviously we have to. It's that point in the off season where you need to start preparing, regardless of what happens from here and the regulations in place, and who knows when next season will start or how many restrictions there are based on the coronavirus going on. But we have to start the preparation process. So the marketing team is getting their materials ready to start promoting next season. And McFadden, you're putting together a promotional schedule already. How taxing has that been, organizing, not knowing if those dates are actually going to stay?
It's been a little bit tough this year, and we've already had the promotional schedule done for, I want to say, probably close to a month already. Having said that, we also have two versions of it, probably about to start on a third. So that does make it tough, not knowing, how the season is going to come together, if we're going to be playing a full season and when it starts, and all those little things that kind of play into, what your the promotional schedule is going to look like, especially with giveaways. And, as, Tim alluded to, with the games being scripted, we plan out our season in the same way. Everything is scripted. We don't just arbitrarily throw Military Appreciation Day in, just wherever. It's always around the Veterans Day holiday, So again, those types of things we try to carefully plan out for, the calendar year. And with everything being up in the air this year, it definitely makes it a little tougher.
Hey, McFadden, do you want to give the fans a little taste of what's coming up?
Oh, man.
What can you spoil that's not going to get you into trouble? Yeah.
I don't think Tony would mind.
Let's see. What would be a good spoiler?
a giveaway item, or no? Is that too confidential at this point?
Too confidential because we still have to narrow our list down.
Oh, that's right.
I'm kidding.
You don't have to. We don't want to get you. We don't want to get you in trouble. We'll just say this:
Star Wars. We'll be doing another Star Wars, but with Empire Strikes Back theme because it turns 40 years old this year.
Empire Strikes Back turns 40.
Yes.
So somehow we're going to have to top a Guinness World Record. I don't know how we're going to do that, but that's on you. And I'll help. I mean, obviously we're all a team here, but you've got the pressure here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we'll try to top it, but Star Wars is always a mainstay with our theme nights. So, and Wizards, Wands, and Wings has really blown up over the last couple of years. So we definitely have gotten a few mainstays in there that we get excited about every year to do. So we are excited again this year.
Tim, obviously you mentioned it right away how you not only work for the K-Wings and everything you do on a game night and the videos that you make for the K-Wings, but you represent Greenleaf Hospitality Group and all of its properties and helping produce content for the Radisson and the different restaurants within GHG. And recently you've been doing a lot of that this summer as well to kind of make things more hands-on and easier to follow for customers that go to those properties as well. Can you kind of fill everybody in on kind of what you've been working on?
Yeah, so currently we're working on virtual tours of all of our spaces. So our banquets manager can sell the ballroom, and the clients don't have to come to the space if they don't feel comfortable or safe. So you'll be able to walk around like our ballroom. You'll be able to walk around the Radisson. You can see some of our rooms. So that's a kind of a cool project that I just learned how to do recently, and got some pretty fancy equipment. And we're going to bring it over to Wings Event Center. So eventually you'll be able to be able to sit at your seat before you buy and see what the view is in Wings Event Center and the birthday room. We'll have a virtual tour of that if you want to look at that before you purchase, and other spaces that our sales team can sell to groups and just help promote. Like we have that cool bar down ice level that I don't think a lot of people have been down, but it's so cool. And so now you can virtually take a tour of it. Coming up.
I'm excited to see the final product, especially, obviously at Wings Event Center. What's so cool is being able to sit in pretty much any seat and see what your view would look like if you were sitting in that seat of a game. And obviously that's going to be a new.
Yeah, so that's like 5,000 pictures I got to take, John. So that's going to be.
Hey, I've got a little extra free time. So here's the kicker. During the season, and I'll let you guys speak for yourselves on this one, but during the season, broadcasters or somebody in my role will typically put in maybe 70 to 80 hours a week, roughly. I mean, you work at the office, game nights, on the road, on the bus, in the hotel room, at home. It really never stops. You can't turn it off. In the summertime, you kind of have a little bit closer to a teacher's schedule, except you're still working. It's just not quite as much as your 70 to 80 hours a week during the season.
Right.
I feel like it's the opposite. Well, I mean, you work a lot during the season too, but
yeah,
a lot of hours.
But I have been busy. And
so if you need my help, is what I'm getting at.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You helped me this week with the ECHL Awards.
Oh yeah, that's coming up, by the way.
Wednesday at 4.
So in 2 days, you can tune in on the ECHL Facebook page and watch the league awards, front office awards, live for the first time ever. They're normally done in person in Las Vegas, exclusively just the ECHL member teams and staffs. Now it's open to the fans on the league's page. So we're nominated for 7 awards here in Kalamazoo, and we're very proud of not only our creative team, our sales team's done some great things this year as well. Our marketing team's done some great things, and it's all because of our fans and how they've adapted to certain ideas and really taken on initiatives that we've pushed at them, and they love it. So hopefully we can keep that momentum going.
Yeah, it should be a fun show.
I'm really excited to see it, and you've done the majority of the work. I mean, I was just there to help you out along the way with little whatever I could. That was I'm excited to see your.
John, you wrote the script and you did the voiceover. So that is that's
boy.
2 things I couldn't do. So to me, that's just
of all the videos you've done. So one of my favorite projects we did work together on, other than the League Awards, was at the end of the year when we did the thank you video. Because obviously the season ended so abruptly, and it was kind of a sad time to see the season just end so suddenly. There was no closure there, and we had this idea with our whole creative team. McFadden, you were in on these meetings, and Tony and our marketing team. How could we really convey how we're feeling, how we think the fans are feeling, and really put something out there that was kind of a good recap of the season. And I sent you over a script that I didn't even know how it would sound or how it would play out, and you just took it and ran with it and did the rest. And I loved how it turned out.
Yeah, me too. That was a very personal video for me, and one of the one of the coolest ones that we've done. It was a great script, and then adding in a Joe, our PA guy's voice in there, and then it was really cool.
And so on the flip side, it was
a love letter to Kalamazoo and the fans, and I think it was really neat.
You've done so many of these different types of videos. Like Wings Holiday Wishes was your brainchild. I mean, that was your idea, and we just kind of all showed up and did our thing, got the players involved, and
remind me, was that another one that McFadden got cut out of?
No. Well, technically, I don't know. McFadden, were you in that one? Because I know you did a voiceover at one point.
No, I don't think I had anything in that one. I was going to say I am a little hurt that I didn't get called in to voice over the League Awards. That is a hidden talent of mine.
Really?
Somebody heard this beautiful voice around the arena during commercials.
I did hear some commercials.
So McFadden, when I first got here and we were getting ready for the season to start, one of the things that I have to do is kind of get our commercials ready and produced and sent to the radio station. So when the broadcasts take place, we've got actual commercials for our sponsors. And I didn't want it to be all my voice because obviously you're sick of hearing me as it is. So the commercial breaks are a nice little reprieve where you can listen to somebody else and not the game. So I had McFadden record a couple of them. And I also had you record the open video. So you're right. I should have thought about you. Your voiceover talent is a hidden gem. And, man, we could have used you in the League Awards.
Right. The next time I need somebody with a little Southern drawl, I will think of you.
And you got cut out of our first top 10 video, which for those who are familiar, it was the one we had Zach Diamond Tony and Zach Sarr on, telling about the fun facts of Kalamazoo, which the idea kind of stemmed from my appreciation for David Letterman's show back when he was on TV. He had the top 10, right? That's probably self-explanatory. Tim did a great job with how it looked. We were going to have you originally, McFadden, be kind of like the Paul Schaefer of the show. The hair kind of was similar to Paul Schaefer that you got going there. I was going to throw it over to you for a nice quip, and you almost made the cut. But I know you were pretty hurt by that.
Yeah, that one did hurt quite a bit. I still am happy with my Waldo joke, but that's show business, I guess. You just can't make the cut every time. But yeah, that one did hurt quite a bit.
To be totally honest, I just got lazy and didn't want to edit you in.
Well, there's the truth behind the story.
We had a season to take care of, so
yeah, that's true. And
my goal this season is to get you in 2 to 3.
Yeah, we could find a way to use your talents.
Yeah,
I'm holding you both to
that. So we mentioned Florida State and Manchester United. Tim, is that Neyland Stadium in the background?
It is.
University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's sad that I know that from a Zoom call background picture, but didn't those teams play in the national championship?
They did.
They did.
And McFadden, you got your master's at Florida State. And Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, your wife has a connection to the University of Tennessee?
Yeah, she went to law school there. And back to that national championship game. Do you want to finish it, McFadden?
Nope.
Okay.
We don't talk about 98.
McFadden, but you've won
98
recently, right?
We did. We won it in 2013. I was actually working for FSU at the time when we won.
See, it must be nice to be you guys, because Arizona State, as much fun as I had in college and as much as I learned, I mean, we really haven't accomplished a whole lot in a sports sense. I mean, our baseball team used to be really good.
Yes, they were. National championship partying?
Actually, the year before I got there, I think some publication named ASU the #1 party school. But ironically, they cracked down on that a lot more right after that story came out. And then I started – so I digress. Manchester United, McFadden, do you like the Yankees too and the Lakers? And, I mean, to me, Manchester United comes off as like that team that you either are a super fan of or everybody else hates.
Yeah, they kind of fell into my lap as a kid. When I was growing up playing, teams used to attach professional teams onto the team name, and that's really where Manchester United came from. And I know a lot of people look at them as the Yankees of soccer, but truthfully, if you really go back and look, they had a manager there for 26 years who really took them from, a small team into what they are now. So, now you see a lot of teams that get bought by billionaires that just funnel money into them left, right, and center. Whereas, while they do have a lot of money because of their global reach, they actually didn't start that way. They really are kind of from the hardworking class, and they did just move up over the years with their success, which is one of the reasons I love them.
I guess I'm going to need to study up on my world's game history, because I'm not a soccer expert, and that's why it's nice to share an office with you, because we could go down a rabbit hole here and talk for probably an hour plus on soccer. So we're not going to do that. But
yeah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, no, cool. On that note, Tim, shows you're watching right now, because I think I don't want to pick the wrong person here, but one of you got me into Ozark this summer.
That
and
was
I heard of it, I never watched it, and I binged through all 3 seasons. Was it? It was McFadden. Yeah. Okay, we'll get into that. But Tim, what shows are you a big fan of, or what have you started watching this summer?
I just finished *Halt and Catch Fire*, the whole season, or the 4 seasons. I kind of geeked out on that because it's technology stuff, and I believe it's on FX. That was really good, and I am just starting *The Great* on Hulu. That's pretty good, but I don't watch.
So Ozark was not your thing.
I liked it. I watched the first season, started watching the second season, and fun fact, I'm supposed to go to the Ozarks in a week. But that got canceled.
Well, from what I saw Memorial Day weekend, it looked like thousands of people didn't cancel their trip to the Ozarks. So.
No, they did not. So I'm happy to stay here. But it was my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, and we wanted to go celebrate somewhere different. And unfortunately, that got canceled. But we'll do something else.
Yeah, hopefully you can make a trip there at some point down the road. McFadden, I will say this. The first season, I was so hooked on that show. After you said something, we just binge watched through it in 2 days or 3 days. And even the second season was really good. And then the third season, we finished it. But, man, I feel like they need to make up for the third season. Did you agree?
Yeah. Third season, I like those kind of shows. And I'm also a massive fan of Sons of Anarchy. And when you start to watch those shows, I mean, I really get into them. But at the end of the day, when you start to really pay attention, and not that you don't pay attention, but, when you really start to kind of look at it from the global view and how those shows are based, you kind of look at it and say, yeah, that's what they're doing is so far from, being a realistic possibility that, you have to kind of push that aside to really make sure you stay in it. But in terms of some shows, even though you didn't ask me what I've been binging, I'm going to actually throw this one out there because I finished it last night, and I'm not proud, but it took me back, and I think it was the nostalgia of it.
Don't say Full House.
Fuller House.
Oh,
I watched Fuller House. I did. I sure did.
No.
And truthfully, it was actually pretty funny. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it did. It took me back to being a kid.
So you've just got this wide variety of shows. I mean, you don't discriminate. You've got really thought-provoking shows like Ozark, crime shows like Sons of Anarchy, Fuller House for nostalgia, I guess, and Letterkenny for the slapstick comedy. And it's my favorite show. You and I quote it in the office almost annoyingly. I'm sure Ashley and Kevin probably are sick of us on our side of the office quoting Letterkenny every day. Tim, are you into that show too or no?
I am. I am a Trailer Park Boys fan first, but I do love a little Letterkenny. So
here's an idea. Maybe we should put together like a content piece related to Letterkenny where we all play a different role, and obviously we'd have to keep it clean. That's the hard part because it's,
That's a good idea.
Adult type comedy. But anyways, one thing people would be surprised to know about you. Who wants to go first? Like one hidden talent or something that our fans that are getting to know you right now, being the brains behind our creative operation, maybe don't know about you.
I think everybody knows that I love soccer and play soccer. That's really one of the biggest things. On the flip side of that, I'm a big Maker's Mark collector. So I have a lot of different bottles that I've collected, and also a big Yuengling fan, which you can't get in Michigan. So anytime I come home, I become a bootlegger of a few beers and drive them across state lines, which is illegal. But got to risk it all for that glory.
This is going to go online for the world to see.
I know.
Tim, some fun fact.
Fun fact. Let's see. Well, because I'm in front of computers and technology quite often, I'm in the woods a lot. I trail run and hike quite often, 3, 4, 5 times a week. Probably going to go do that right now. So, and I don't really talk a lot about that much, but I'm in the woods a lot. And I do a lot of reading. I don't think people may know that.
In the woods thing, does that translate to your golf game too?
What's that?
The whole in the woods thing, does that translate to your golf game too? Is that why you like the woods?
Yes.
That was a mean joke because you actually carried our team 2-3 weeks ago, and we're in the fairway the whole day. So I was the one in the woods.
You were, but you had a good round this last week, and we are, as we stand right now, first in the league. So
let's keep it up. I don't know how that happened.
My tea book that I got you for Christmas.
Oh, I drink a lot of tea. That's another one.
Oh yeah,
I did read that book.
See, I didn't even know you were a tea guy. Oh yeah, I did know that. You, Nick Bootland, and Jason Kane are the 3 big tea guys in the office. And we already talked to Nick, and he's actually, we're going to get him on a show here coming up next week. Actually, we're going to talk to Nick again about the status of the team. But Jason Kane's one that we got to get on a show here coming up this summer. Yeah. Our director of ticket sales, he's big guy. Do you have a favorite kind of tea?
Right now it's just green tea. I like Earl Grey's, but yeah, the classics.
See, I'm about 3 coffees in by the time I come find you, and I'm like, hey, how many teas have you had today? Or can I – sometimes I'll borrow one of your specialty teas that you have.
Especially when that throat's feeling a little overused, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd like to change my answer.
Oh.
Something that actually, as we're going down this beverage track, something that blows a lot of people's minds is I actually don't drink coffee, so or tea in that for that either. But yeah, I don't drink coffee. I got addicted going into my senior year of college over the summer, and I quit cold turkey after I was drinking like 3 or 4 a day. I was like, nope, not going to do this. And yeah, ever since then, every once in a while I'll have one, but it's very, very rare.
So you drink Mountain Dew every morning?
Nope. I'm a water. JP will like this, but chocolate milk and skim milk. I'm a skim milk guy.
You're just a by the book type of guy, aren't you?
I am. I am pretty routine. I won't lie.
Well, that's what we love about you. Anything you guys like to add that I'm missing? I mean, we haven't covered Metallica yet, and I think McFadden would be offended if we didn't bring up Metallica. But my favorite band, your favorite band, although you take it to a whole nother level.
I do. They have a Spotify playlist it's called Metallica, and about 95% of the songs on there are Metallica, and it plays on my computer every day at work. So yeah, and same in my car. I have all their CDs, and I just rotate them through the CD player, and yeah, it literally is about all I listen to.
And Tim, I got to give you credit because some of the videos that I ask you to do, like for player signings or for team awards or whatever it may be, you find these hidden gems, these songs I've never heard before, but get stuck in my head to where I go download them the next day.
Right.
So you must have a library of music that's never ending.
Yeah, I love music, and I love discovering new bands and different soundtracks, and yeah. So that's to me, that's one of the funnest part of making these like highlight videos and player award videos is finding new tracks to use. Hope we don't get copped one day, but.
So I'm going to wrap it up with this because we could go all day. But this has been a lot of fun, and I'm glad you guys finally caved. And well, Tim finally caved to come on the show. McFadden's been asking me about it for like 6 months. So you're on the show. Thank you guys very much. I want to encourage our fans. The next time you see one of our videos on Facebook, or the next time you come to a game and look up at the video board or see what's going on during the intermission, those dinosaur races or the dogs running across the ice, to now put a face to what you're seeing, because these guys are the best at what they do, and you guys really make our team what it is. So thank you for all that you do, Tim, Michael. We'll have to get you on a future show again, because I know we could have a lot more discussions.
Oh, we could. Thank you, JP.
Yeah, appreciate it.
This has been fun. Stay tuned next week, everybody. We're going to have head coach Nick Bootland on the next episode of Just Winging It.
Booter.